Okay. Motion to resume.
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote, Vicky.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes. Okay. As a result of the executive session, I move that the council hire special counsel not to exceed the amount of $5,000 to represent the town of Phillipsburg in the matter of Mayor Stephen R. Ellis versus the town of Phillipsburg.
So moved.
Second. Roll call vote, Vicky.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes. Okay. Yes, Joe, we are in the process, I can't really comment much, but we're in the process of litigation. The mayor's filed suit against the town of Phillipsburg, and because of the father-son clause with the statewide insurance company, we are not covered, nor is the mayor. Therefore, we had to hire an attorney to represent the town of Phillipsburg. So we have an attorney that's yet to be named. We have not selected one, but we need to motion this evening. Okay. Moving forward, we will discuss ordinance number 2018-05, which was vetoed by the mayor on April 13th. Just make sure I got my dates correct. Yes, April 13th, 2018. That's an ordinance of the town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, deleting chapter 464 rental property in its entirety and replacing it with a new chapter 464 rental property. I would motion for override.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, I'd like to gauge council's opinion of the letter we received from the housing inspector regarding the enforceability and whether our current provisions in the budget are enough to accommodate the changes we've made in this ordinance.
Is council SEL or CIO?
Oh, no,
Okay.
my colleagues, I apologize.
So, in my opinion, and I can't speak for everyone else, but I do believe because it's revenue generating, with the inspectors that with the inspector that we would be hiring as revenue generating, I do believe that it would fill out, that we would be able to. It would be cost effective. If you're asking what my feeling is on the letter, I've said it since day one. Do your job, and that's what they're supposed to be doing. And I understand they're backlogged, and I don't, but that's their job.
Sorry, I meant more to the position of the enforceability as of today and whether the positions that we made in the budget are satisfactory. Because when I look at the numbers, I know we're going to, based on the mayor's recommendation, retain an outside firm for inspections based on the current budget proposals. But at 2,000 individual units per year, I'm not sure if just the one additional, the $50,000 is going to be sufficient. We might need to consider adding to that in order to make sure that this is enforced.
I'm open to that, Councilman. Councilman Vick.
I'm open to that as well, but it is revenue generated.
It is.
Sustains itself. I don't have to wind this watch anymore. You know why? Because the sun hits it. When I move, the hands move. So the more inspections we get someone, like I said, the best in the country, I don't care where they come from. It'll sustain itself, like my watch.
Yeah, my concern is, well, it might be revenue neutral. I don't think we're going to be on additional funds if we exceed our expenditure on that particular line item until November. And I don't know if that's going to be enough time to catch up on the deficiencies, and we're going to find ourselves back in the hole where they're behind inspections midway through 2018.
So, you'd like to add to the budget, to amend it?
Yeah, I think that if we want to see this properly enforced, we're probably going to have to add to the size of that contract in order to accommodate these, because just looking at it mathematically, if there are 2,000 units that would be 2,000 inspections per year, assuming that they're all 100% satisfactory at the time of inspection. If you accommodate for inspections at whatever percentage you want to, that adds another few hundred that are going to have to be completed for re-verification.
Councilman, I'd like you to take a look at Mr. Merlot
Sure.
and apologize in advance.
I thought.
Because I have a feeling, just by the look on his face, he's loving us right now. But I have to agree with Councilman Davis. So, okay. Amended, do you have a dollar figure?
I honestly can't speak with any practical knowledge because I haven't engaged in contracting outside entities for inspection, so I don't know what's going to be the expectation for pricing on this function.
Okay. Bob, what do you think, another 50? Another 50? And what does it do to the budget if we do go to another 50? Because as of right now, we're at a reduction. We're still at a reduction.
Very close, probably close to even.
Close to even, which means taxes won't raise.
Well, I think, would we be able to adjust the revenue item as a function of the projected inspections, the 2,000 units at $100 a unit for this? No?
That we haven't collected money yet. You can only anticipate what we've already collected.
Okay.
Okay, so that, like, looking forward is only based on historical look back, okay.
Well, we have one in the budget
It's,
already.
you doubled it from last year, which would take into account going from $50 to $100
But that's
for
not
registration, and you were calling everybody to register.
But it's not
It's-
collected.
Correct.
It's in there, but you're gonna need a whole lot more.
Okay.
There is some revenue gonna be generated, but you're gonna have to vote more, like $2,000 or $3,000 more.
Well, like I said, the quality of life, if it's going to balance out and we go one more year, the quality of life of the residents means more. So I'm certainly open to it, Councilman, if you want a motion.
Well, the alternative, Council President, I think would be that if we were to modify the ordinance today to revert back to the 2-year plan, I think it would give us an opportunity, without committing too many funds from the town, to ensure that this outside contracting works in accordance with our expectations without overly burdening or making us provide such a huge capital contribution, increasing the budget, without these revenues being realized first.
I have to politely disagree, Councilman, because I'll be honest with you, the 2-year plan that they've had hasn't worked thus far. I know that we'd be hiring, but I'd rather put them on the time frame.
Yeah. Agreed that we've had some difficulties. My fear is that we're going to put a more onerous restriction on our department, and again, if we don't have sufficient funds, they're going to fall behind again. So I would rather increase the funding to get them to come into compliance with the ordinances we have as written now before we make it more restrictive, just to ensure that we are able to meet the first barrier before we jump to the second.
So okay, so you'd rather drop it back to 2 years and still hire another inspector at 50,000?
Yeah, and I think that would make sense for us because based on the new inspection fee schedule, like I said, with the increased amount of funds we're going to have with the outside contractor and be able to obviously gauge their performance, we'll be able to realize new revenues as a function of this per inspection fee. For 2019, we'll have those additional funds in the budget. We won't have to realize any additional tax obligations in 2019 because this will be realized, and we'll be able to both increase the schedule as well as add the funds. I think that's a reasonable plan.
Yes.
So in order to amend this ordinance, it would require...
Two readings.
Right, exactly, 2 readings.
But of course,
What you can
that's-
do.
Yeah, that was, and that's obviously with council's consent, but I just want to make a realistic endeavor. I think that this, the plan I'm proposing will both give the satisfaction and enjoyment back to the people of Phillipsburg, because we're going to have an obviously much more aggressive enforcement schedule, as well as making sure that we're not unduly raising the taxes when we could be providing some relief.
I have a hard time going back to the 2 readings because then we're back to another month and a half. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know, I can't speak for the rest of council. Councilman McVeigh?
I gave my initial thoughts on this, and I do completely understand where Councilman Davis is coming from. But it's kind of going back to what we've been doing, and I said before, what we've been doing is not working. If I'm asked to work, the rules change, and I got double the amount of work, I just got to do it, or I'm out of a job. So that's where I stand. I'm not changing.
Councilman Woods?
I'm willing to raise it 50,000 right now. You have to put in consideration if you hire somebody locally and he's on our, we have to pay him health insurance and stuff like that. So that's quite a bit more than what we're looking at. So I think I'm going to stick with it.
Okay. Council
Can I
Vice.
chime in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, give me 1 second, I'll go somewhere quiet. Sorry.
Council Vice President,
So,
if you wouldn't mind and just indulge me, ladies and gentlemen, it is just broken that the former First Lady Barbara Bush has passed away. So I would ask if we could just have a moment of silence to remember former First Lady Barbara Bush. Thank you. Council Vice President, proceed. Please.
so I understand the concern. However, I'm realistically thinking about this, and we put that money in there. It's mid-April already. 20-day inaction. We're in well past May. By the time RFPs, we find a service, we're talking about August or September. So we're only talking about 3 months. I don't know that we need to increase anything at this point. This is a 2018 budget. We're not going to be, we're going to have 3 or 4 months,
Okay.
realistically. If this was a full year, I'd agree with Councilman Davis, but we're not talking about a full year of service. So I'm comfortable where we left it
Okay.
as it is. I don't want to go back to 2 years. I disagree completely. So that's where I'm at.
You should see his face right now. He wants to kill you. No, I'm kidding. I agree. Man, it's tough. I understand both sides, but I also understand the needs of the people. Councilman, I think we vote to go as is. And if we shoot ourselves in the foot, I don't know if you read the paper today, but it won't be the first time I've done that to myself.
Yeah, I just hope that if there are, because this is a new territory for us, that we're considerate of the hiccups and issues we might run into along the way.
I appreciate that, Councilman, duly noted.
Council President.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I spoke to some folks in that department on my recent visit up to City Hall, and I explained to them, we're not hard, we're not going to be coming down on people. We completely understand what's going on as far as the deadlines and the dates, and we're reasonable folks. We have to make hard-line decisions, but as far as that goes, we completely understand as your sentiments, as you expressed. So I took time to speak with those employees in just general conversation. And then I told them that, understand, this is where we're at, just do your job to the best of your ability, and then no one's ever gonna fault you for that. You know, and they're not gonna we're not gonna make a zero balance on these inspections the first year. It could take a while, but if we get the practice in place, the practice is in place moving forward. So when we're all out of here and they're all out of there and there's a whole bunch of new people, hopefully this practice 10, 15 years now is in place and our town doesn't look like the way it does. It's the longevity, it's the real big picture here, not the short-term picture of what we got going on. That's all I have to say.
Okay, roll call vote, Vicky? Unless anyone has anything else to say. Roll call vote, Vicky.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes. The motion to override the veto by the mayor for an ordinance of the town of Phillipsburg, County of Warren, State of New Jersey, deleting chapter 464 rental property in its entirety and replacing it with the new chapter 464 rental property has been successfully overridden. Okay, so moving forward, and just so everyone's aware, I did have a conversation with the mayor. He did let me know that he was vetoing it, and we did have a very polite conversation to where I think he knew that the override was going to happen, so there is no hostility here. Okay, I do believe that he expected it. Moving forward to the consent agenda, are there any items that council, and I'll begin with Councilman Lutz, that you would like removed for discussion?
The limousine, 2018-76.
That is a resolution to provide for an application for a limousine operator's license for a Robert Perez.
Correct.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo. I'll move forward to Councilman McVeigh.
I'm good, sir.
Councilman Davis.
I would like 2018-74 and 2018-77, please.
Okay, so that's 2018-74, which is a resolution designating newspapers to receive notice of meetings, and 2018, you said?
77.
77, a resolution approving 2017-2018 liquor license within the town of Phillipsburg with a special ruling of 1239.
Hi, this is Danielle.
It appears we lost Council Vice President DeGirolamo. We still have a quorum.
But before we move forward, just as a point of information on two of the other ones, I don't need to debate them, I just want to make sure I understand.
Sure.
But for the designation of the handicap parking spaces, was there a modification or an addition, or is this the annual re-registration?
Annual.
Annual, okay. And for 2018-79, is the intent of that resolution to remove our brick and paver crosswalks on South Main Street from the Black Bridge to the Free Bridge? It is? Okay. So I'd like to pull that one off as well, just to have discussion about that.
That was 79.
79.
We are unloading the entire consent agenda.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Don't be sorry, because I'm actually, okay. So with the exception, it seems like 2018, 80, 78, and 80 are the only two, because I would like to discuss 2018-75, a resolution designating handicap parking spaces within the town of Phillipsburg. So, sure, if you'd like to go one by one, we certainly can do that. Is council okay with the change?
Yes.
Okay. 2018-75, a resolution designating handicap parking spaces within the town of Phillipsburg. Oh, I skipped 74, not first. 2018-74, a resolution designating newspapers to receive notice of meetings. Councilman Davis, I believe you asked for that to be?
Yeah. Before we can consider debate, Council President, I think we need a motion in a second.
We do, and I
Yes.
will motion.
Second.
Now we can debate.
And do you have any debate as a maker of the motion?
I will say this, Councilman, I have been in contact with the morning call, and Yes, we are in discussions with regard to bringing the morning call back to Phillipsburg. They are looking to expand their coverage. So because we are in active discussion with them at this point in time, I certainly would not be, I wouldn't be opposed to tabling the motion until we get further clarification from the morning call with regard to charges. I certainly don't want the taxpayers to hurt. Of course, today I saw what the Express Times charges. Yet to see what the morning call charges. I'd like to make sure that it's comparable. I also don't think it's a bad idea to have some type of competition here in town. But that's my personal opinion, but I certainly would not be opposed to tabling this motion.
Make a motion to table it.
Councilman, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I think that we should defeat this resolution this evening, just based on the subscription numbers. Even if we were going to consider changing our newspaper subscription, or our newspaper publication, I think that we would need to see a good faith effort from the morning call to expand their subscription base as well as the coverage of the market first. The Express Times, as a function of the morning call's decision to pull back from Phillipsburg, as well as the folding of the Free Press, the Express Times has become the de facto newspaper of Phillipsburg. And I think that the subscription numbers speak for themselves and people vote with their wallets. The Express Times has thousands of subscribers in Phillipsburg. I can tell you my parents have been faithful subscribers for many years and they've enjoyed the coverage of sports. There's plenty of clippings in my house from Bruce Parati when he was covering the track beat back in the day. And I think that most of the residents of Phillipsburg would agree that it would behoove us, as long as the expense is reasonable compared to the others, that this is probably the publication that they're most likely to see an advertisement from the town in. So I would recommend that we vote on this evening to defeat it, only because I don't think that we should be shopping based on coverage or what people are covering, because it should have a chilling effect, I think, on all of us when government is getting involved in what newspapers are publishing. So that's all my debate.
Thank you, Councilman McVeigh.
Am I open discussion of this as far as, or
It's up for discussion.
there's a motion to table? and was it seconded?
There's nothing said in here.
Yeah, it hasn't been seconded yet, so it's still open for discussion. We have a motion to table and a motion to defeat, so it's still up for discussion until a second.
How about I make a motion to second? To table?
To table?
Yes.
And then we would have to vote to table before defeating.
No, there's
No, just-
just motion to table, so.
Right, so the motion is second table, you can have discussion as to why you want to table it. Doesn't vote on that motion.
Point of order, yeah, I can't discuss.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Oh, sorry, you can't debate a motion to table, you just have to vote.
Okay, roll call vote, Vicki?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
No.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President DeGrova? Council President Fulmer?
Yes. Resolution 2018-74, resolution designating newspapers to receive notice of meetings has been tabled until the next meeting. Resolution 2018-75, a resolution designating handicap parking spaces within the town of Phillipsburg.
So moved.
Second.
My discussion is, I've noticed there were some spaces that are on this resolution that we should probably audit that no longer exist. Some people are deceased or no longer live there. I mean, who?
Well, they have to turn in a letter
Okay.
by December usually to have those spots renewed.
Okay. I believe someone had just, I'm not sure if they were deceased. I believe, Ms. Davis, do you remember the person we were discussing?
Yeah, 1
By 22 Heckman?
1
I would only request that they're audited first before we pass them. Parking, those of us that are parking is few and far between here in the town of Phillipsburg. If we have spaces that are being used or being taken up by handicap parking spaces, that where they no longer exist, I think it causes more of a problem. So I would just ask if we could audit this and then come back to it. Sure.
And just as a point of information, Vicki, can you just enlighten us to that process one more time about if a spot is no longer needed, how people can request that to be removed?
So what happens is if by the end of December, anybody who has a handicap is supposed to send a letter in that they want to keep their handicap. We don't get a letter in, it gets removed automatically by DPW. Once this passes, they remove everybody who hasn't returned a letter. If somebody passes or what have you, they would notify us, but that doesn't happen very often.
They notify you after they pass?
They,
That is scary, Vicki.
not them. Okay.
I got you. Councilman Zedberg?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So, I motion to table.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Wait a second.
Oh,
You guys have Councilman Lutz.
okay. Roll call vote.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGarmo? Council President Fulper?
Yes. Motion number 2018-75, resolution designating handicap parking spaces in the town of Phillipsburg has been successfully tabled. We will move forward to 2018-76, a resolution to provide for an application for a limousine operator's license for a Robert Perez. Councilman Lutz.
So moved.
Thank you. Second.
Yes, I don't know if people have been looking at this, but when you fill out an application, and in the code book, 5575-12, it says parking. An owner and operator of a taxi cab business must provide a garage or off-street parking area for all taxi cab licensed under this chapter. It should deem the violation of the chapter to park a cab on a public street, highway, alley, or a public place in the town of Phillipsburg. Meaning they have to have their own off-street parking, not the towns, and they have to have a garage. And I think we overlooked a couple of these because there's a person down on South Main Street that has his license for up to 10 years and he parks on South Main Street. And this new guy coming in now, he's going to be parking in the 400 block of South Main Street. So I think we should hold off until we get a better clarification from him.
So moved.
So the motion table.
Motion table.
Council President, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes. Resolution 2018-76, resolution designating, providing for an application for a limousine operator's license for Robert Perez has been successfully tabled. We can go ahead and move forward to 2018-77, a resolution approving the 2017-2018 liquor license within the town of Phillipsburg with a special ruling 1239.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, yes, Council President. If I recall, Vicki, can you help me recall? I believe that we rejected this license last year due to some concerns from the background search. Is that correct?
Not this particular.
This wasn't this one?
No.
I know we have a DBA. What bar is this?
This is the one that's going into, it was Family Liquors, was bought out by Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street's moving into the
Car wash.
car wash.
Right. Okay, so this is not the one that was rejected last year. I just mistook the names. Because the DBA is always confusing. So,
I know.
okay. I'm good then. Thank you.
Okay. Roll call vote, Vicki.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Fulper?
Yes. Resolution 2018-77, resolution approving 2017-2018 liquor license for the town of Phillipsburg with special ruling 1239 passes successfully. Moving forward, resolution 2018-78, a resolution approving the issuance of a special permit for a social affair to St. Philip and St. James.
So moved.
Second.
No, it's technically still in the consent agenda, but at this point, the distinction of a difference. So.
No discussion? It was on the consent agenda. Vicky, roll call?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Fulton?
Yes. Resolution 2018-78, resolution approving the issuance of a special permit for a social fair at St. Philip St. James successfully passes. Moving forward, resolution 2018-79, a resolution authorizing the award of a contract for professional service with Van Cleef Engineering Associates for construction, observation, and administration regarding the replacement of Main Street crosswalks.
So moved. Finally.
I will second.
Yeah, so I'd like to gauge council's interest. Do we want to remove those crosswalks? Because I thought they were expensive to add, if I recall correctly, and I'm wondering if, based on our current plans to renovate downtown, if that would be a short-term solution to repaving the roads.
I'm going to defer to the engineer who's in
Yeah.
attendance this evening. Stan?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. As you recall, Councilman Davis, we awarded this contract last fall to Samson Concrete. The material that was installed back in 2005, 2006 is settled. The method of doing crosswalks has changed. It's not a flexible pavement that's there. It's our recommendation that removed. We're going to go in with temporary pavement for the rest of the year until that settles out. With the anticipation we do a milling overlay of that area in the fall, and then we'll coat it with a flexible relief that will show pavers, as similar you see it over in Easton now. It's typically what's used now because it'll move with the traffic loads. It's not damaged by winter weather, and it's much more appropriate for the downtown. Certainly will go with what our future plans are.
Okay, so this is a temporary removal based on the end.
This is temporary now. What will go back will be asphalt base course, and we'll stripe the crosswalks with anticipation of another project in the fall. We're going at this time of year, as I've reported, due to interference we've had with the different train events, the festivities through the holidays, and with the weather, the project is going out. I'm going to report on the schedule during my report upcoming.
Councilman Davis?
I'm satisfied, thank you.
You're welcome. Roll call, vote, please.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
President Fulton?
Yes. Resolution 2018-79, resolution authorizing award of contract for professional services to Van Cleef Engineering Associates for construction, observation, and administration regarding the replacement of Main Street crosswalks passes successfully. Last, 2018-80, a resolution approving the payment of second quarter